Crossbeats production. So I just started this beat off, and I figured I just might as well bring you guys along in the beat making process, just to show you, I guess, really behind the scenes of how I start my beats off, and just give you guys ideas on how you can create your own beats. Now, I'll just do this pretty much silently. I just want to start working on this beat and see if I can come up with something, and hopefully come along with a full beat at the end. But if I don't, obviously I'll put this beat up on my channel so you guys can check it out. But let's get to it and see what we can come up with. All right, guys. So pretty much what I've got so far is the basics, or I guess you could say, not a skeleton, but a pretty good start to a beat. What I kind of tend to do at this point is, just try and just don't listen to it too much, because one thing is you'll wear yourself out listening to the beat, and the other thing is you kind of get stuck in, I guess in a sense, you get stuck with one rhythm and you don't think of other things once you get stuck into that mode. So one thing I kind of try to focus on a lot is, changing up my drums and stuff like that. And I tend to think of ideas, whilst I'm creating the rhythm. And as you saw, like the beat kind of started out with that one kind of arpeggiated sound that I had from that. From Mai Tai, and I pretty much started at that high pitched sound. After a while I thought, you know what, I'm going to just switch it up, make it sound all different. So all I did is, as you saw earlier, I just pretty much switched the poly to mono, and then it created that kind of that glide sort of sound. And the only reason it did that because I had two notes kind of affecting each other, so I kind of manipulated the sound a bit. But you can just mess around with stuff like that and just really get your own unique sound and create something yourself. And this is only the basics of the start of a beat. It's not anything as yet. It's just kind of ideas, and that's where it usually starts. So the thought then was kind of get a bass and like an 808 kind of bass sound, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. So pretty much what I'll do is get some sort of an 808 going, and you know, just come up with the ideas from that. So let me just keep working on this, and if you're enjoying it, obviously just give me a thumbs up. If not, you know, whatever, just stop watching, I guess, if you want. But otherwise, you know, I hope you guys get something from this, because it's really good to see other people produce beats in front of you and give you perspective of what they do, because it just really gives you ideas and how you can create your own, you know. Anyway, let's get into it and we'll see how we go. Pretty much what I've got going on there. Sorry about the clicks and the pops and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm recording at a really low sample rate. Maybe I'll just increase that a bit so I don't get that going on. Alright, so what I did with this bass is I just played it freehand and just did octaves. That's all I did. So it was A note, so pretty much did the octave of the A note, and as you can see, this is set on a glide mode, and this is a preset within the Reaktor called Punch in the Bowls. I don't know why they call it that, but I guess it's pretty low. So, but anyway, that's what it's called. And the things I usually do with this 808 preset kind of thing that I use is take off the reverb and just adjust the attack a bit on that so it doesn't hit so hard once when it's attacking it. Maybe put to maybe move it up to a 10, 11, see how we go. Nope. 15. That's probably about right for now. And I just mess around with the attack and the release and the slide as well. And you know, just something simple like octaves, you can just rotate that around throughout the entire beat, and it just creates a unique space for that particular 808 kind of sound. So actually, I'll just change that so it's back up at the normal volume. And what I'd normally try and do is reduce the volume inside of the actual plugin itself. So try and attack every volume that you can, at least for the most part. Try and attack it at the source. Don't reduce the fader like this. I only did that because I was just being lazy. But I try and just do everything at the source so that I can leave my faders at unity, and you know, that way later on in the mix I can adjust stuff, but I just try and do that as much as I can, you know. Anyway, let's just minus 16 I think it was, yeah. So yeah, that's a good tip. Like, I think there was I should stop saying like. I think there was another video that I did recently where somebody was asking me about how I produce and the kind of style and the way that you should do stuff with your faders and you know, how much volume you should have and all that sort of stuff. Now, I mean, honestly, when you're producing a beat of any kind, volume doesn't really matter too much. It kind of does to a degree, because, you know, when you're producing, you want to have something at the end that you can kind of mix and you don't have to pull everything down like crazy. I try to, and I don't know if this is... Yeah, okay, so it's at about -9. I try and stay at least somewhere like -12, -9, -10, somewhere in that vicinity, and no higher, because for one, when I'm making beats, I don't want to be blasting my ears out anyway with the volume, and I want to have things that are already set somewhat to the levels that I'm going to set them to in the finish. That's just kind of a technique I use. It doesn't have to be the way you work. You don't have to do, you know, you can do whatever you want in the end of the day. It's totally your beat, but I just try and keep things sort of where I would have them sitting when I'm going to start the mix. So at least there's some kind of volume that's set in the right area. And that's just a technique I've just used over the last couple of years, and it wasn't the way that I used to do things, but, you know, over time you do learn, you do pick up things, and you just really start to evolve the way you produce. So anyway, I hope that so far this has been informing, and otherwise you guys are learning from it and hopefully creating some of your own beats and coming up with some new stuff yourselves. So anyway, let's wrap this up. I just hope that you know, this kind of gives you an idea. I didn't want to make too much of a long video, but I hope it gives you an idea of how you can start your own beat. And I was watching another tutorial from Craftmasters Production, and his tutorials are fantastic. Just to call out, I guess, to his stuff. But he was talking about having I guess, discipline when you're creating beats, and coming up with a beat at least once a day if you can, if you have the time to do it, but just at least training yourself to really think in the mindset of a producer, and really just gathering your thoughts in that ideas that you have, and just trying to put them down into I guess, pen and paper, which is basically your DAW. So yeah, I hope this is real good for you guys, and peace.